Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you again today, class. For today, I will continue my lecture on chapter 6 that is about issue in global supply chain and management. For this topic, I will explain and relate some of the issues from Malaysia's context and other countries in international business. Okay, now for the introductions, I will explain about the definition of supply chain management. Supply chain management is referred to the work of the all activity involved in delivering finished product or service to the customer. This process, sourcing of raw material, assembly, warehousing, order entry, distribution, and delivery. Supply chain management is a vital business function that coordinates all of the network links. Okay, coordinate in this context refers to or coordinates in this context means a movement of goods through supply chain from the suppliers to manufacturers to distributors. Supply management also promote information sharing along chains like forecasting, sales data, and promotions. Okay, number of supply chain management process depend on the nature of the business, size of the business, and business orientations. Some business may have 6 change. Some of the business may have 7 change, and some of the business may have 8 change. Supply chain management process, how it should like, and what is the example of supply chain management. This slide bring you the example of supply chain management process. In this slide, I have a 7th supply chain management process. It starts with the strategic planning, demand planning, procurement, supply planning, warehousing, manufacturing, transportations, and order fulfillments. Some company may have a smaller or shorter or simpler supply chain management process. As I said in the previous slide, it depends on the size of the company, nature of the business, and business orientations. Malaysia industry growth complements global supply chain. The trend of supply chain convergence has strengthened Malaysia's role as global hub. Many multinational companies such as Volkswagen, Nestle, IDT, and IKEA have leveraged on Malaysia's strategic locations and efficient trade infrastructure to serve their growing business in Asia market. Due to the government's proportional initiative, many multinational companies and local companies begin to centralize value and add activities such as bulk, breaking, repackaging, and relabeling under International Procurement Center and regional distribution center establishments. If you want to get more detailed information about Malaysia's industrial growth complements global supply chain, you can get information by the link that I provide in this slide. Okay, move to the next slide. We talk about the example of successful global supply chain management company in Malaysia. Intel Malaysia is one of the successful global supply chain management company that exists in Malaysia since 1972 in Pulau Pinang, Malaysia. A notable company which has a global operation hub in Malaysia is Intel. Intel Malaysia was established 1972 in Pulau Pinang. With an initial workforce only 100 employees, Intel Malaysia has now become one of its group's largest and the most diverse site of United States. Intel Malaysia begins its operations by undertaking shared service and manufactured-related activities such as logistics and warehousing. The company soon developed the role of Intel Global Service Center, undertaking functions such as research and development, thereby significantly contribute to the group's innovations and development of broad product range including Microsoft processors, chipset, network processor, and microcontroller. As at today, Intel Malaysia employs over 3,000 local employees. They ascend their value chain by undertaking more strategic functions such as supply chain management, business planning, research development, and engineering. Okay, let's continue our lectures. How the global supply chain growth in Malaysia industry. This is driven by Malaysia's government commitments towards many things. First, the free trade agreements. Another commitments toward the supply chain management in Malaysia industry is the implementation of regulatory reforms to promote growth of supply management in Malaysia industry, and our governments in Malaysia also promotes the innovation of the technology and the creation of the knowledge workers. Here I have one of the most popular company in the world, and it's very close to you to understand the implementation of supply chain management in the organizations or in the businesses that you will explore later on in the international business. Okay, supply chain management in KFC. Basically, supply chain management in KFC include inventory control, production, operation management, logistics, waste management, quality management, process automations, restaurant ambience, layout design, management structure, demand forecasting, storage, and maintenance. Okay, let's see class what KFC have in their organizations until they can serve you a plate of fried chicken or a cup of coffee. So in KFC actually they have a very strong hierarchy or management structure, and they have the layout design for kitchens and layout design for restaurant, and they also have demand forecasting. Later in next slide I will explain about demand forecasting step by step, how they do all these elements in supply chain management in KFC. Hierarchy or management structure. This is example of one of the hierarchy in KFC. At the top of the hierarchy of the KFC itself, they have regional manager, and then they have assistant regional manager, shift manager, production champions. Either they are 2-star or 1-star, and then follow with new members. And the lower hierarchy in the management structure, they have new members, trainees, and housekeeping. Each of the hierarchies have their own rules in organizations. For instance, managers have their own role how to manage the organizations. Production champion, new member, and trainee, they have to play their own role to contribute to the successful of the organizations. Okay, next part of supply chain management in KFC, we have layout design. Layout design, they have kitchen and restaurant. In the kitchen, they have process layout. They make everything in the kitchen in U shape because it will help them to save time in producing the foods in the kitchens. They can save time, they can reduce the motions and reduce accident risk in the kitchens. And the restaurant, they have standardized design. Whether you go to KFC in KK, KFC in other countries, they have standard designs so that you can recognize this is layout or design for KFC. They have good ambience, variety in seating, arrangement, and effective use of CC. Next part of the supply chain management in KFC is about demand forecasting. How KFC do demand forecasting? They have projection chart. The projection sales stocks required for each of which they forecast their sales, their stock required for each week based on the forecasting sales and stock on the last 6 months, or they calculate based on the previous month, and they also expect unhandled too. They expect unexpected. For example, they have a different forecasting for a seasonal demands such as a New Year celebrations or any celebration in the country. A meal that you bought in KFC actually involve many supply chain management and process. For example, here, 2 bucket of fried chicken, one a bottle of Coke involve suppliers, vendors, logistics, storage, wastage management, and inventory management. Suppliers, KFC arrange the needs for supplier based on daily basis, weekly basis, or monthly basis. For some perishable item, they make it daily basis. For example, bun, vegetables, meats, chickens, Pepsi, maybe every alternative day. And they also have something else, for example, potato for fries or fries itself. They can deal with the supplier every week, and they also have to deal with paper packaging. For vendors, KFC usually do open vendor system, the suppliers capacity check, tenders based price and quality check by KFC. Logistic transportations, vehicle at specific temperature, specifications check on arrival, item pruning, either they want to accept or reject the product if it's defect. The team send an email within 24 hours in case of product artifacts, and the items are replaced within 48 hours. Storage at a specific temperature. Specific maintenance committee to take care of the storage items. They have FIFO or LIFO system. Usually KFC use FIFO, first in, first out usage pattern. They also have items keep in the numbers or row. They have system to keep the item in the storage, whether they want to label the row or by self itself. Storage, waste management in KFC is about 1 to 2% of the total sales waste. waste it can be come out, and waste it can be occur during transportation, handling, storing, or preparation the food or serving itself. So they have to have a proper waste management in KFC. Okay, now we talk about inventory management from farm to fork. Inventory start with the receiving, storing, preparations, production, and serving. Back order managed with a neighbor KFC. Let's say you are short in stock, you will ask your nearest KFC to help you to cater with the inventory problem. Dessert in KFC: a piece of apple pie, a cup of sundae or ice creams. They are relies on the quality control and maintenance. How KFC do quality control and maintenance to make sure that dessert that they produce in KFC always meet the customer needs and the standards set out by KFC. Quality control and maintenance to make sure the quality under the control and high maintenance of their product and service in KFC. KFC always have their own maintenance committees. They always send 30 to 15 days employee training programs to make sure that they can cater all the quality control and understand the maintenance process in preparing food, storage, and all the process until they can come out with a product that they can sell to the customer. Quality control check also help to improve the quality and maintenance in KFC. Global supply chain functions, global logistics. The core function of global logistics are global distribution center management, inventory management, packaging and material handling, transportations, and reverse logistics. Global supply chain functions. We continue about global logistics. Global distribution center, facility that positions and allow customers of product for delivery anywhere in the world, used by manufacturers, importers, exporter, wholesaler, retailer, transportation companies, and custom agency to store products and provide location where customer customizations can be facilitated. The order processing part of order fulfillment process. Global supply chain functions, still on global logistics, global inventory management is about how much inventory to hold, in what form to hold it, and where to locate its supply chain. The strategy must effectively trade off the service and the economic benefit of making product in large quantities and positioning them near customer against the risk of having too much stock or wrong items. Global supply chain functions, still on global logistics. Packaging is the container that holds the product itself. They consist of primary packaging, secondary packaging, transit packaging, and function of the packaging. Packaging itself is actually have the function to perform, protect, and informs. Global supply chain functions, still on global logistics. Now we move to talk about transportations, how the transportation role in a global logistic functions. Transportation represents the largest percentage of any logistic budgets, refer to the movement of raw material, component parts, and finished goods throughout the global supply chain. Primary drivers of transportations are distant, either they are closer or far, transport mode, by ocean, air or land, size of load, big, small, large, load characteristic or oil price, cheaper or expensive. Global supply chain, reverse logistic. Reverse logistic can be defined as a process of planning, implementing and controlling the efficient, cost-effective flow of raw material, in-process inventory, finished goods, and related information from the point of consumption to the point of origin for the purpose of recapturing value or proper disposal. Goal of reverse logistics is to optimize after market activities or make it more efficient. Reverse logistics important part of the global supply chain. Global supply chain functions global purchasing strategic level. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 level of strategic level in global purchasing. Level 1 refer to the company engaged in domestic purchasing activities only. Level 2 global purchasing involve companies engaged in international purchasing activity only as needed. Level 3 company engaged in international purchasing activities as a part of firm's overall supply chain management strategy. Level 4 refer to the global purchasing activity. They are integrated across worldwide locations. And level 5 of the global purchasing is engaging in a global purchase activities. They are integrated across worldwide locations and functional groups. Managing a global supply chain for rule of just-in-time inventory. Inventory logistics system designed to deliver parts to a production process as they are needed, not before. It means that you are produce something that you are never produced before. This will help your organization to speed up inventory turnover, reduce inventory holding costs, frees up working capital, boosts profitability, and can improve product quality, but leave the firm without buffer of inventory. Managing a global supply chain continue. We continue to talk about role of information technology. We have two here. First, electronic data interchange, EDI, electronic interchange of data between two or more companies. Second, enterprise resource planning, EPR, wide range business planning and control system that include supply chain related subsystems. Managing a global supply chain continue about information technology. Information technology have a lot of advantage in a global supply chain management. So what else? The benefit of the global information technology on global supply chain. They also offer collaborative planning, forecasting, and replenishment. We call CPFR. Information technology also help vendor management of inventory, allow for holistic overview of supply chain with a single point of control for all inventory management, warehouse management system. To be competitive today, firms must have some form of supply chain information system. Continue about managing of the global supply chain for coordination in a global supply chain. Integrating and coordinating are critically important. Shared decision making create a more integrated, coherent, efficient, and effective global supply chain. Coordination in global supply chains aims to responsiveness, increase variance in reductions, reduce variance in reductions, inventory reductions, shipment consolidations, quality and life cycle support. Managing a global supply chain, inter-organizational relationship. Two keys are trust and commitments. Value between nodes and actors in a global supply chain is a function of the cost, money, and non-monetary resource give up in return for the quality, product, service, information, trust, and commitments received by an customer. Figure 17.5 refer to upstream inbound relationships. These examples, the participants are vendors, suppliers, and partners. They interact across continuum from the transactional focus and relationship focus. So what is about transactional and what is about relationships? Okay, transactional focus interaction involve low coordinations and low integrations. While you move to high relationship focus, you are focused on high coordinations and high integrations in your business relationship. Figure 17.9 shows downstream and outbound relationship between three participants: buyers, customer, and clients. They are interact across continuum from transactional focus and to the right focus more on the relationship. Okay, transactional focus interactions has low coordinations and low integrations, while the relationship focus on interaction has high coordinations and high integrations. Transportation in supply chain management. Transportation is enabler of economic, political, and social development. In recent decades, consistently low fuel price and the powers of intense competitions push transport rates lower and improve service level. Times may be changing. Pressure from fuel price volatility, capacity constraint, and environment-related impact may change the role of transportation in supply chain management. Congestion and transport infrastructure. Congestion in transport network increase supply chain costs. Congestion and transport infrastructure are certainly created by congested delay require retailers to carry additional inventory. Delays require carriers to purchase and operate additional transport equipment and utilize additional labor. Delays on the network also impose additional costs at transport terminals. Congestion and infrastructure. High percentage of national highway system operates under congestion conditions. To top 10 bottlenecks create 1.5 million annual car hours of delay at USD 30 per hour. Cost does not include inventory-related ship costs. Forecasts indicate congestion will worsen. Funding under existing tax structure not sufficient to even maintain existing service level. Railroad congestion and infrastructure continue. Surging demand for trailer on flat car (TOFC) and container on flat car (COFC) service, creating congestion on portion of mainline rail network. Projections indicate congestion will spread to 30% of network by 2035 if capacity is not increased. Principal mean for adding capacity, double tracking portion of main lines. Investment expense is a constraint. Waterway congestion and infrastructure. Aging land waterways infrastructure cause bottleneck. 31% of vessel passengers experience delay. Coastal port, particularly on west coast, under congestion pressure due to growth of international trade traffic, deeper channel draft, and dock site requirements due to the larger container ship capacity. Waterway congestion and infrastructure. Port congestion relief strategy, the investment to deepen channels, investment in technology and equipment by carriers and port operator intend to speed ship loading and unloading operators, relieve landside congestion in terminals and improve access to port area, longer port operation hours, challenge to balance with environmental concerns. Sustainability green supply chains. It means that green supply chains, they are friendly with the environment, no harm to the environment. Can carbon footprint and firms costs be reduced simultaneously? More firms discover the answer is yes. So what is carbon footprint? Generally, carbon footprint associated with the amount of carbon dioxide emissions. Some argue for more comprehensive definition encompassing full life cycle greenhouse gas emissions. Sustainability, the green supply chain. Why companies go for the green supply chain? First, motivating business interests, corporate responsibility to society, because of desire to increase or maintain brand reputations, competitive pressure because all your competitor in the market already go for green, then you have to be follow their in the market. Internet and external stakeholder pressure and expectations, desire to low fuel costs. If you use green technology, you may reduce the cost of a fuel that you use in a supply chain process. Current and potential regulatory pressure. Sustainability, the green supply chain continue. Logistic related impact on the green supply chain, fuel consumptions, efficiency, packaging and waste disposal, system interrelationship in green supply chain management, about transport consolidations versus inventory cost trade-off. Transport maxim, don't ship air and don't ship water. Consolidation reduce network mile and fuel consumptions. Consolidation means large shipment size and may impact supply chain responsiveness. Sustainability, the green supply chain. System interrelations continue to talk about packaging for market appeal versus transport costs. And what is about adding water to the product to enhance product and market appeal versus transport costs? So first we go to packaging for market appeal versus transport costs. Market appeal often drive tendency toward large package. Large package usually contain more air and take up more space in transport vehicle. This is result more transport use to more given amount of product. If you export more, you have to use more transport space or more vehicle for transporting your product. Next, we move to additional water to product to enhance product and make and market appeal versus transport costs. Okay, for this one, adding water is actually a liquid that provide a liquid product give appearance to the customer of getting more for the monies. You add water into the product, you increase the amount of that product, increase the value of the product, and also increase transportation costs. Adding water increase transport, warehouse, packaging, and retail costs. This is what um, Walmart do in their business. That is the initial innovation in Walmart initiative. They transform from the powder detergent into liquid detergents. Sustainability, the green supply chain continue. Carry effort to reduce fuel consumptions. Purchase more fuel efficient equipment. You can reduce the fuel consumption by using a clean fuel and hybrid vehicle. Now we have electric vehicle, they have solar vehicle, they have many things that may help you to reduce fuel consumptions. Working with a shipper to reduce the overall network mile, increase load consolidation opportunities, transportation EAPAs, smart way transport partnerships, and many opportunities for greener supply chains exist. For example, Subway restaurant, they use greener supply chains. Fuel costs and consumptions. Wide swing in the fuel price since 2005 creates significant supply chain cost uncertainty. Fuel price volatility impacts some mode more than others due to difference in fuel intensity. So similar in Malaysia, now the petrol price is fluctuated every week. Motor carriers, very fuel intensive, approaching annual labor costs as the largest expense category. Annual fuel costs rose 70% from fuel surcharge used to the past, loading higher fuel price when possible. Fuel costs and consumptions. Air carriers. Fuel intensive, the most intensive mode to fuel cost change. Fuel is now the largest operating expense items. Traditionally, fuel was 12% to 15% of operating costs. In 2007, fuel rose up to 30% of operating costs, contributing greatly to some airlines' bankruptcies. So now, air carriers impose additional charge such as surcharge, airport charge, tax, many charge they added into the ticket price used to recover higher fuel costs. However, intense competitions deters surcharge. Fuel costs and consumption for water carriers. Water carry is relatively fuel efficient. Nonetheless, fuel price increase do impact operating costs, particularly for ocean carriers. Marine bunker fuel price rose 100% from 2005 to mid-2008. For some, fuel reached 50% to 60% of operating costs. Fuel surcharge have been imposed, but again, competition put downward pressure on the price and deterred significant surcharge. Fuel costs and consumption for rail carriers. Rail is relatively fuel efficient mode where it has not been impacted to the same degree as others modes by the rise of fuel price. Real benefits from the fuel price increases as some traffic shift to intermodal service for long-haul. Pipeline carriers. Pipeline carriers are relatively fuel-efficient mode, cost not significantly impacted by higher fuel costs. Fuel costs and consumptions. Carrier responses. Fuel surcharge has been the principal response. Surcharge have become more sophisticated, involve formulas that closely match price fluctuations. However, no standard industry practice on such as formula or policy. Service capacity and network rationalizations, reduce line haul cruise speeds, focus efforts on shorter traffic lanes, cutting on and reduce service on unprofitable routes. Fuel costs and consumptions can improve operating efficiency of the carriers by fleet replacements and more fuel-efficient, lighter-weight vehicle. Alternative fuel vehicle businesses in international business can use IT to improve operations to greater visibility of asset, track and trace equipment in real time. IT help to improve security, enable fleet size reductions, increase responsiveness to expectations, to exceptions report, and enable more timely and accurate information sharing between carriers and shippers. Collaboration and visibility, art and science in supply chain and management. The science dimensions refer to the models and software apps used to improve supply chain design and execution of supply chain management process in international business. Some of the software and apps are network optimizations model, warehouse management system, WMS, transportation management system, TMS, scheduling model, inventory control model, and these signs also refer to application of technology such as RFID tags and GPS system. Collaboration and visibility. We continue about arts and science. Arts dimensions refer to the relationship building within and between organizations that is necessary for collaborative supply chain management. Collaboration fosters leveraging opportunities. Operation level collaboration initiatives include coordinating shipping and loading or unloading times at DC, longer hours of operation at drop yard and DC, faster payment for carriers. Collaboration and visibility, art and science continue. Strategic level collaboration initiatives involve many are focused on sharing informations in a vendor managed inventory programs, customer data covering on-hand inventory, SKUs on orders, sale and stock out by SKU, inventory turn forecasts, and promotional forecasts are shared with the vendor. The same info is shared with logistics service provider. The info enables the vendor and logistic provider to dramatically reduce DC out of stock and number of expenditure orders, increase inventory turns, smooth the flow of product through the supply chain, improve scheduling of pickup delivery, reduce empty mounts. Collaboration and visibility. Art and science continue to talk about visibility. What does it mean by visibility? Actually, no universal definitions on visibility. Additionally, visibility refers to ability to see assets such as amount of inventory on hand, number and location of equipment. Okay, visibility applications capability have expanded. Status of order, inventory turns, status of shipments across the supply chain, alert on service disruption. Information has become more useful for decision making. That's all from me about supply chain management, chapter 6. Thank you very much. See you again, class, in chapter 7.